Comes a moment in every seeker's path when they believe they've found it. The truth, the light, the awakening they've been chasing. The mind expands. The boundaries of identity dissolve. Everything feels clear, almost holy. And yet, time passes. The glow fades. The questions return. Was that real? Have I lost it? Why do I feel empty again? This is the infinite loop of awakening, a cycle where the seeker believes they've transcended, only to fall back into the same confusion, dressed in more spiritual clothing. A loop where illusion hides behind insight, where the ego reinvents itself in the language of light, and where awakening becomes another dream to escape from. But what if the loop isn't a mistake? What if it's the very mechanism that reveals what awakening truly is? Let's dive in. Part 1, the seed of seeking. Every journey begins with a disturbance. Something in you knows that life as it is isn't enough. Not in a material sense, but in a fundamental way. You sense there's more beneath the surface of existence. Something infinite, silent, untouched. This intuition is the seed of awakening. But the moment you begin to seek, a paradox is born. Because to seek implies that you, the seeker, are separate from the truth you seek. You run toward it, believing it's somewhere beyond. You read, meditate, fast, isolate, surrender. Each experience feels like a glimpse of that truth, but none of them last. Why? Because the act of seeking itself reinforces the illusion that there's someone who needs to awaken. And that illusion is the loop's first rotation. The seeker is born out of the very illusion they're trying to transcend. You can't escape what you keep creating. The seed of seeking, if misunderstood, becomes the root of endless wandering. Part 2, the illusion of arrival. Then one day something happens. A profound silence descends. Time stops. The mind collapses. You realize, I am not this body. I am not this thought. I am the awareness behind it all. It's overwhelming. An explosion of clarity, beauty, and peace. You might call it enlightenment, awakening, realization, or whatever your tradition names it. But soon after, something subtle occurs. You begin to claim the experience. I have awakened. I see what others cannot. I must maintain this state. The infinite has been reduced to an identity again, a spiritual one this time. The ego didn't die. It simply changed its costume. Before, it was chasing money, fame, pleasure. Now it chases stillness, purity, and eternal awareness. The costume changes, but the actor remains. This is the illusion of arrival. It feels like freedom, but it's still inside the cage, just a bigger, shinier one. The seeker is still seeking, but now for a permanent state of awakening. And so the loop continues. Part 3, the collapse of certainty. After the high fades, doubt returns. Sharper, deeper. The mind whispers, "You've lost it. You were never really awakened. Maybe you need to try harder." You return to the practices. You chase the old feeling. You study new teachers, but none of it feels the same. The glow of certainty has died. You fall into a void where neither the world nor the self feels real. This is the dark valley of awakening, not the dramatic kind filled with demons or despair, but a quiet existential emptiness. Here, every idea collapses, even the idea of enlightenment. You begin to see that every label, every belief, every effort was a movement of mind, and mind can never hold the truth. This is the crucifixion of the seeker. It's not glamorous. It's not poetic. It's the raw dismantling of everything you thought was you. You realize that the one who seeks awakening must die for awakening to be real. And that death isn't an event. It's a continuous surrender. Part 4, the spiritual ego and its subtle masks. In this loop, the most cunning trick is not ignorance, but refined delusion. The spiritual ego doesn't shout, it whispers. It hides behind words like presence, oneness, non-duality. It quotes scriptures, speaks softly, smiles serenely, and secretly needs to be seen as awakened. It thrives on subtle superiority. It feeds on comparison. I'm more conscious than others. It hides its fear behind polished humility. And it tells itself that it has no ego at all. The spiritual ego is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It reveals the depth of your identification with the idea of being someone who knows. Because as long as there is someone who knows, there's separation. As long as there's separation, there's seeking. And as long as there's seeking, the loop spins endlessly. True awakening begins not when the ego is destroyed, but when it's seen completely. When every mask is illuminated, not judged. When even the impulse to get rid of the ego is recognized as another egoic move. The loop begins to dissolve not through control, but through clarity. Part 5, the loop reveals its nature. At some point, you realize the loop isn't a prison, it's a mirror. Each cycle, the seeking, the high, the collapse, the reconstruction, is consciousness watching itself. You are both the seeker and the sought, the illusion and the awakening, the loop and the liberation. The infinite loop of awakening exists because consciousness wants to know itself infinitely. It doesn't end, it deepens. What you call repeating is actually expanding. Each time you fall back, you fall into a deeper layer of truth. Each time you lose awakening, you lose another illusion about what awakening should be. You realize the loop doesn't need to end. You just need to stop mistaking movement for failure. The awakening isn't a destination. It's the very act of seeing, endlessly unfolding within itself. Part 6, stepping out of the loop. To step out of the loop doesn't mean to escape it. It means to see it from the centerless center. Here's how. 1. Stop chasing states. Every state, bliss, clarity, stillness, even insight, comes and goes. The truth you are is not a state. It doesn't begin, so it cannot end. 2. Drop the seeker. Stop identifying as the one who awakens. Awakening happens. It doesn't belong to anyone. There is no you who achieves it. 3. Watch the movement of mind, not to control it, but to recognize that even the thought, I am watching, is another thought. What remains when even that thought dissolves is what you've been searching for. 4. Rest in unknowing. The mind wants closure. It wants to name the truth, to capture it. But the more you try to define awakening, the further you drift from it. Real freedom is found in the space beyond definition. 5. Let the loop turn without being in it. Experiences will still rise and fall. Insights will still come and go. But you'll know none of it touches what you truly are. You'll live in the world, play the game, feel the emotions, yet remain untouched, like the sky holding every storm. This is not detachment. It's intimacy with reality itself, without distortion. Part 7, living beyond awakening. Once the illusion of the loop fades, life becomes astonishingly simple. You no longer need to be spiritual. You no longer need to appear wise or conscious. You simply are. You laugh when laughter comes. You cry when tears flow. You work, love, rest, dream, not as a person chasing meaning, but as life expressing itself through form. The sacred and the ordinary merge. Meditation and chaos are the same dance. Birth and death are waves of the same ocean. This is not some final enlightenment, because there's no finality here. Every breath is awakening. Every silence is realization. Every fall is grace. The loop was never an obstacle. It was the path all along. You were never trapped. You were being refined, stripped of every false layer until only truth remained. And that truth has no opposite, no name, no destination. It is, and has always been, this. So what does it mean to step out of the infinite loop of awakening? It means to stop running from what already is, to see that awakening is not an achievement. It's recognition, not a peak, but the ground beneath every rise and fall. You don't become awakened. You awaken from becoming. When there is no longer anyone left to awaken, no path to follow, no state to maintain, only then does life reveal its effortless perfection. This stillness behind movement, this silence inside every sound, this is what you've been searching for, and it was never hiding. The loop ends not with enlightenment, but with the simplest truth. You were never asleep. You were dreaming that you were, and now you've awakened from awakening itself.